All right, well, we are currently sitting on a ferry in Batumi, Georgia, on our way to cross the Black Sea, on our way to Ukraine. But why are we here? Our original plan was to go through Turkey and spend a couple days in Istanbul. We'd been there before, and we really loved it, and we were looking forward to it. But just about a day before we were going to leave for Istanbul, Jamie was about to get his e-visa, which is a normal thing. You just go online, you get it, you pay 20 bucks, and you print it off right away. And he logged on. It turns out that the day before, the United States and Turkey had stopped giving visas to each other because there's some diplomatic disputes going on right now, and the two countries aren't being too friendly with each other. So, bottom line, Jamie can't get in to Turkey, so we had to find another route, which is why we decided to do the ferry, because none of us wanted to go back through Russia. We would end up having to backtrack a lot of what we'd already seen, and it would have added a lot of miles to both our bodies and the bikes, and we're tired of it, kind of, and so are the bikes. So we found this ferry option pretty good, 260 bucks, sail across the Black Sea. We were supposed to leave 1 week ago. We left Tbilisi, Georgia, which is a beautiful city that we all loved, and we're about 20 miles outside the city, and all of a sudden Jamie says, "Hey guys, my bike doesn't feel right," and then sure enough, his bike just stops working. He has to slow down, pull off to the side of the road, and his chain is gone. It's come off the sprockets of the bike. So he and I take a look at it real quick, and right away it's obvious that the teeth of the sprocket have sheared off from the chain being either too loose or the sprocket just getting too worn down, but all the teeth are gone and the chain came off, wrapped around the bike.
License plate just destroyed, ripped metal apart.
Ended up tearing the chain apart, so now you've just got this one long strand. It was flapping around and it really ripped up the inside of like the metal of the swing arm and some parts like the wheel component, and his license plate pretty much has a big slice through it, so don't get on the wrong end of a chain.
But he held it together.
It'd take a lot more than a messed up chain and sprocket to take old JD out.
So then, of course, we can't continue. This city from Tbilisi was about 250 miles, an all-day ride through mountains and stuff like that. So we knew we had to go back to Tbilisi to be our best shot. So Mario immediately went back to a gas station where some guys were talking to us about motorcycle parts, and I started towing Jamie back towards the city. And I just towed him right against traffic. We stayed on the same side of the highway. We were just on the side of the road. A couple cops saw us, tried to stop us, but I just kept going and they didn't pursue, so I figured there's nothing wrong. And ended up at the gas station. Mario had found a place for like a bike shop, a local Tbilisi bike shop, so he went there looking for the parts that he would go buy and bring back to Jamie and I, but unfortunately they didn't have them. It turns out in all of Georgia and perhaps most of Europe, our particular sprocket doesn't exist because it has 8 bolt holes, and most of the others only have 6. And it was hard to think of like a solution and how we could like cut bolts out or anything like that. It just wouldn't have fit right. So it took about a day of us just kind of thinking about what to do. We looked at shipping options for the United States, which was going to be about 500 bucks to get it there pretty quick. And so it was just too expensive. So I thought of the idea of, let's try and get one made. But anybody that's gone in these kind of like more remote traveling locations, Google doesn't really work the same way where you can look up these kind of shops. So it was hard for me to find like a machine shop on Georgian Google. So what I found was a company that sells the machines that we needed to use to make the device. So I found a sales company. I went to their headquarters in downtown Tbilisi. They gave me, they started contacting some of their customers for me to see if they were available to help, and thankfully one did. And so Jamie and I went out and met the guy and just kind of talked about what we needed done. He said, "Come back tomorrow and we're going to do it." I went back the next day, spent a few hours out there. They were super nice, very helpful. They drew it all, especially, we had to call up and get some measurements from back home. And so they drew it all on their computer, and then from the computer just goes right to the machine and they start cutting the sprocket out of the plate metal. It was really a cool process to see. And finally we got it on. It fit just right. And we're a little worried about it because it's not the same quality of steel, and we didn't get it heat tempered either. So it's not going to hold up quite as long, but we knew it would get us at least to here. And then, so now we're on this ferry. we spent a couple days here. The boat was delayed twice because of rain and weather. Some were on the Black Sea, including here. So now we're a couple days even later. We'll arrive, I think, on Saturday or Sunday in Odessa, Ukraine. And then on Monday, we got to pick up some paperwork for our European insurance for the motorcycles. And then we're going to start hitting the road, heading towards Sicily. We're the south of Italy, really, towards Bari, to meet our parents, who arrive in like 9 days. So we have a big distance to cover and not that long a time. But we're on this boat for about 2 days, and it's not bad. I got these picnic tables, there's a bar, there's a restaurant, we get 3 meals a day, we got our own cabin, it's just the 3 of us. I got outlets, no Wi-Fi, so we all downloaded tons of movies on Netflix and stuff like that, knowing that we'll have like 55 hours of solitude with just each other and all these other people on the boat that we don't want to talk to. So you'll hear more from us in a couple days.
Well, we'll see what happens, but gotta give it to these two. I mean, they helped us out a lot, and I don't know what I would have done without them. Probably would have been living in Tbilisi, helping out the shawarma ladies.